Okay, I think now it's working. Copy vertex input is called other vector. Yeah, that should be added, I guess, from the register thing. Register. Okay, so I need to understand when that is exactly being used. Or do I not? Well, yeah, I guess. Clear it's being filled there. Or is it being used? Nowhere. No, it must be going through this function, I think. Add to FlatCreateInfo. Calls FlatCreateInfo add. Somehow, yeah, game engine. Vertex input binding description. That's the one, right? So it's added to this list. That one. Question is whether that being used. It's being used by this call. Which is never called. What is? That's where it is being called. Okay. So yeah, just basically the same point as the attribute descriptions. So the only reason I would want to fill this thing earlier is when it can be filled earlier. Maybe, which means where does it come from? So I added a if something changed, attribute that thing. Is that ever set? It is set to false. It's never set to true. So I'm making the copy from this. Oh wait, this must be set when that thing is being changed. And of course it's never changed. Set binding, pushback, it's changed here. Could be kidding me? Both? No, that's highly annoying. I think that the add vertex share input binding is called more than once. So this comment would be wrong. Well, not that it really matters, but still, let's see, it's called twice. So comments are definitely wrong. Anyway, oops, I'm going to set the other one, which I now do no longer have in my mouse buffer. Git diff again. If I guess that was the one. Yeah, this one is changed by calls to that function. Maybe we should just put it here, you know, like. Bit more together. And then that fix me, I guess, is also correct. So that's to fix me. Yeah. Fix me, is this the right place? I guess it is. Copy. Oh, this copies this to the other one. Both are add vertex shader. And then copy of that. To binding descriptions. Yep. Okay, I think I finished that part. or maybe not. Vulkan pipeline, add vertex shader, copy vertex input, binding descriptions marked final, but it's not vertical. Interesting. Both of them. Is add vertex shader. Boom. No matching function for call to vulkan pipeline characteristic copy blah blah blah. Yeah. I was thinking already. Apparently these says don't need a node of factory. Strange. Okay, links. Now we have a codump on. Still a validation error here. Oh, there's a lot less validation errors, I must say. There's only one validation error. VK create pipeline layout, duplicate stage flags found in ranges 0 and 1. Yeah, it seems that the problem is that I'm passing this, like a vector with which has vertex in it with this offset, and then again a vertex with actually the same offset, but even that's not allowed. And I think that the reason for that should be, well, I'm not sure, but my guess is that it could happen if I just add the push constant twice. So I'm having here an add push constant. And there's another one. Both are running, I suppose. So maybe if this thing is running, I thought it was not running. No, I don't think it's running. Or is it? Actually, it is. That is interesting. What is an ASMR? What is an ASMR? You exit Vim colon Q return. Q of quit. If you type a colon, the cursor jumps to the bottom, and then you can type all kind of special commands that is not really related to your files, like the place in the file where you are, but maybe to the whole file, like quit or write and exit. Colon WQ is write and quit. It's not at the moment then, Pedro. While I'm compiling, my machine gets overloaded and then the sound gets distorted. I wouldn't call it relaxing. Jimmy, yeah, indeed. VI. Nope. I was going to look at not there. I just want to run the right thing to file, and then see if it is being executed. But I already know that it is. It's not. What? Mr. Quack is funny. Now, Mr. Quack, look, I am now inside Vim. I'm going to type a colon, shift colon. See, now my cursor jumps here. And I type a Q, and then I type enter. And now we're outside. That's how you do it. Okay. How do I end up with twice this? Why? Well, because it is passed to realize pipeline layout, and that is being called from that state. So we're going to have a look at this state, and then we find realize pipeline layout. And I guess that's the one. So we have a duplicate, and from the FlatCreateInfo in get sorted push constants, or whatever that is returning rather, and that is returning a merge on push constant ranges list, but the list itself is a size of 1, so there is no merging. In other words, it has a single vector pointer that has 2 entries. Now we are adding to this vector of vectors pointers. See, vector of vector pointers. Oops. And we're adding to this list when calling this pushback here. So this function must be called twice. And that function is called by add to FlatCreateInfo. Oh, right first time. So that will be called from here. It's the push constant ranges. So apparently this is called twice, which means that this is called twice. Yeah, by now I want to make sure. Vulkan. And then point, some pointer, whatever. Just print pointers as pointers. Oops. Makey. So I pull the plug out of the wall. It's the safest way. It's like when you're erasing your hard disk and you want it to stop as fast as possible. It's probably what VI is doing now to your computer. Are you an engine val boolean? It's bloody cold only once. It's fine by me, but then how do I get 2 of them in there? Okay, now I'm starting to get pissed off. It should also be only called once. But so this function only called once, so it means that add to FlatCreate. Oh wait, no, I'm an idiot. Sorry, I'm an idiot. That's not true. Here we are adding this vector, but this vector is added to twice. And you want to see that? Another question is, where are we adding to this vector? Back inserter. Here, that's where you're adding to it. So it could be that, say, the size of this sorted push constant ranges is 2. I'm laughing because this is standard set. So really, how could that contain any duplicate? Yeah, either that or this is called twice. It's a back inserter. Maybe I should reset it. I think I should reset it. This is copy. You know, like the other functions that I already did. Clear it, I mean. Well, let's try this. But then, even then, why would it be called twice? Well, yeah, let's find out if it is called twice, because I think that's strange by itself. Vulkan, comma, the name thingy, and then let's pass the argument as well. Makey. There are really no calories in those pizzas. Last time too, when I ate a pizza, it is like you ate nothing. I'm still hungry. Ridiculous. I don't know how often that is called. Twice. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And why is it called twice? This is called by realize descriptor set layouts. Location. So I'm calling preprocess 1 of the vertex shader, which contains a push constant. Hello, Anch. Thread pool 04. It's doing preprocessing, so it detects that a push constant is used in the vertex shader. And then does something with declaration, context, and all whatnot. So it's doing a lot. Like, what? Is it doing it again? But, okay, whatever. And then you get add push constant, copy push constant ranges. Why here? That should happen only after preprocessing. So I guess we just return from preprocess. Well, I guess also calling that one. And that one. And then is calling range preprocessed. What? Preprocessed. I don't get it. Yeah, this is a characteristic task. I must say, I'm very surprised that a characteristic task is calling my copy functions. Or not. Oh no, no I'm not. That's actually okay, yeah. Okay. I'm saying okay. But characteristic terminate state characteristic compile. No. I need to find the other one. The other call to copy push constant ranges. That's here. Also thread pool 4 though. Yeah, also is used in, so it's also preprocessing something. Preprocess squares word is what? It's preprocessing same thing twice. Yeah, come on, come on. Well, it definitely looks like a waste of CPU, right? Oh, actually, I'm getting it. I think this is a range. It just preprocessing it again because it's a range. That's not good, but that's the reason. So the fill index is changed. Yeah, fill index is 1. Okay, so here we have fill index is 1, and then we do preprocess signal, do preprocess. Okay, so we're being called twice because we're preprocessing twice, and we're preprocessing twice because it is a range with size 2, I guess. Or is it even called more often? Is there another fill index? Because now, no, it's still. Oh, who knows? No, well, it crashes. I think it crashed. Didn't it crash? No, I don't know. It's segfaulted on, not on assert apparently. But we have gotten rid of validation errors, it seems. Yep. Slowly but certainly we're making slight progress. Run in the debugger. Show me that crash. And up in draw frame. Wait. Crash here. Where will it crash here? Well, X as an empty vertex buffer as a vector. Thou shalt not bind empty vertex buffers. I was even expecting to have 2 of them. Okay. The question is then, why at this point is this an empty vector? Well, that is a good question. It's a reference to a dereferenced something, which you get from vertex buffers. It is a mutable thing that contains, in the end, memory buffers. No. Thread save const vertex buffers. There's a write log on it, and then here's a read log, and then it's empty. So it guess that we never get here, or we don't fill it. Create vertex buffers. Ah, right, I commented that out. It's never been called, this function. Let's see, if I can look at the troop file and we search for this, then it's never called, see. And if I search for it in the source code, then you'll see that it is commented out, I think. Fix me seems weird. Fix me seems weird. Actually, it does call it twice with the fix me still. No, it doesn't. So I commented it out indeed. Yeah, the YouTube algorithm is a fan of me. I mean, the algorithm is a computer itself, so it's like completely. Now I wanted to say something that is very non-PG. Maybe I should not say it. But you can imagine what computers would do when they watch someone fix bugs. Fix bugs. Unbelievable. Okay, here create vertex buffer is being called. Well, was called, and it should only be called once. And these lines of code are really ugly. So I commented them out. And there was even a second time, and I guess that's also commented out. It's not. Yeah, but I'm not using this characteristic at the moment. So this is the problem here. That's, well, problem. It's just not called. Let's just read fix me and get it over with. It seems weird to call this here. Yes, totally. Because create vertex buffer should only be called once. Well, the current function is part of a PipelineFactory. Like, imagine we have, you want to upload a vertex buffer just once to the GPU. And then we are uploading it as often as we have pipelines. Now, of course, you could say, maybe I want to upload it more than once. But, you know, when it is different-ish. But hey, that depends on the function, and the function doesn't take any arguments. It just is a typical tutorial function that does its thing, being the only thing that tutorial does. Tutorials have no idea about games. They think you only want to show a single mesh. and then yeah, this is what that does. It's pathetic function. I don't know what to do with it, but it doesn't seem to belong in a PipelineFactory. Yeah, not really. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think it will work as soon as this is initialized. Vertex shader input sets. And that is returning add vertex shader. Vertex shader input sets. Is being added to yeah, okay. So we call this a few times, and then when we call it often enough, we call that copy function. A copy function, copy something, it's being called. I think that's the right place to also call the generation then, or I don't know. Isn't this per definition called in the initialization? See, that's, I have the feeling that this vertex shader input sets changed, but you know, that's set, and well, yeah, after add vertex input bindings is being called, which I think belongs in the initialization of dude, it's initialize. Initialize. Okay, so what it's doing here, run state is set to characteristic range initialized. And then we run that. Initialized is being run. That is here. And that then calls characteristic range initialized, which when all of them are done calls characteristic initialized, signals characteristic initialized to the PipelineFactory, which causes it to continue running after having waited for it in initialize, which is here. So I think that this point is actually a good point to do those copies-ish, or not. No? Yes? I don't know. Probably. Initialize. I think so. At the very least, you know, we would, yeah, if you want to do something just once. It's also confused that the copy is not here. Isn't that in the description how long I have been working on this project? It's 2 years advance so far. I think I want to do it here. Create vertex buffers. This is a function of window itself, isn't it? Or not? Create graphics pipelines, yeah. Totally. So I need to call this on the window. Do I have a window here? Do we know anything about windows? I'm owning window. That would be a possibility, but then it needs to be a, yeah, a virtual function. Okay, now we don't know anymore where we were. Nope. Oh, wait, I followed this and then I pressed that button and then I looked for this. No, no, totally lost it. There it is. So you'd say maybe I have to do this, but I don't think it is a virtual function. Although I can make it a virtual function, I guess. Or is it a virtual function? Pretty good question. Maybe it is. Because, wait, I jump to window here, class. Windows derived from task synchronous window, and that then should have a create vertex buffers. It doesn't. Virtual. Nope. I have a create random graph. Well, I have a lot of creates. Why do I not have a create vertex buffers? See what these things do. Conjecture shader templates. Below create, it has an override also. Create graphics pipelines. vertex buffers. I think I'm just going to make it a virtual function then. Create graphics pipelines, override, create vertex buffers, override. And if this isn't const, then why is the other one const? It's non-const. So this is non-const. I might as well create. I mean, it's well, okay, no const. Could it be called once anyway, so it doesn't have the thread safe? Create vertex buffers. Create vertex buffers below create graphics pipelines. Oh, don't even have that. But this is being called from now it's being called from a pipeline factory. It's still a mess because, you know, I can have multiple pipeline factories. So yeah, then is it going to be called multiple times? I guess so. Well, that's not what we want. So something horribly wrong here still. It just does not belong here. On the other hand, it's the window that adds it. Why is it called from a pipeline factory? Add is done in a characteristic. Maybe it works. Maybe it works. I don't know. Okay, now it's called from the pipeline factory, but which state? Didn't write it into disk yet, apparently. it's called from there. Pipeline owner must be passed as well. Must characteristic range. Am I doing that? Not passing anything here. Fix me weird window create vertex buffers. This that's a different thing. Pipeline owner. Is the pipeline owner being used? I guess it is. Oh wait, I removed that. It's no longer const. So let's keep that away there. Pipeline owner is used to get the vertex shader input sets. And then again here, it's a data feeder. So I need to pass some characteristic range. Yeah, if that is the case, then you would think that I should actually call it on every characteristic range that has it added, right? That added something. Oh, why is this so difficult? Nope. Yeah, apart from uploading the buffers to the GPU and generating the buffers from something that was being passed here, the output is actually vertex buffers. Which are here a member of the window class. Which then is used in the render loop. Draw frame uses it. It's so totally application specific, aka user code, that I hesitate to call this function as a virtual function from the base class. It's too specific. It's also very limited. I think in the end I want to have any number of vertex buffers on the fly whenever I need them. So yeah, no. I don't think that adding that virtual function was correct. I need a more a general point that I can use to call it, because this application wants to do that. So no, this should not be a virtual function. I just don't want that. But still, it takes a characteristic range, which is actually also a user code object. So yeah, I would think that it should be called from the characteristic range. That's the thing that you call it. I'm gonna remove this virtual function. So I'm not going to call it from PipelineFactory. And it's not a virtual function. It should be called from window.h, the user code. And then I would say the characteristic range that adds vertex buffer stuff. So either this one or the base. I don't think the base is adding anything. Yeah, these two are the vertex. These two are the vertex buffers. So it's definitely 100% this class that needs to call it. And it needs to call it after these adds here. I think I can call it immediately. Ground zero, sorry. Can I not call that one immediately after these two things? When can I call it? So if I could call it right here, that would be window, create, vertex, buffers, this. Because we are in the characteristic range now and we have the window and everything. But I think this is too early. Something is probably going wrong. Or not. I don't know. Add vertex input binding. It's just adding to vertex shader input sets. I don't know. Oh yeah, vertex shader input sets, which I just added to. It could just work. I think maybe it works. Let's just try it, I guess. Oh wait, now it's const again. Window is const. I'm owning window of what is it? This class is const. Oh well, let's make it const again, I guess. Right. That's a new crash, but VK error, loads of validation errors. Oh my god, loads of validation errors. Descriptor set counter must be greater than 0. Well, hey, we do have we have already a pipeline apparently. This is like the render loop. This is what it prints when it is in the render loop. So the render loop is doing stuff, and then we get a validation error. Yep. I was about to run the game, but now I'm not going to. Even if there was a game, don't you see the validation error? Don't float. Skybear, floating is no. What is the Dutch way to render, Robin? I don't understand what you're saying. Nope, not getting it at all. Run in TDB, TD. Oh, I'm saying it wrong. So I think, I mean, if I say it in 100% Dutch, it is indeed render. But is it different in English? I mean, like, I could say render, but it's almost the same, right? Just the R is a little bit different pronounced. So maybe I said a render loop instead of a render loop. Post Bunny! Post Bunny should change her name into a name with an R in it. And I could say, Post Bunny! Post Bunny! But yeah, no R. It's just Post Bunny. Post Bunny is in Dutch. I don't say how this. I don't say Post Bunny. Post Bunny. Oh yeah. The rolling R's. The rolling R's. It's a black screen. Okay, we have it. Validation error in function vk command bind descriptor sets. There are no descriptor sets. You are a bad coder. Read this 100 times. Or write this 100 times. What was it? States. Write 100 times. The descriptor set must be greater than 100. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Those teachers. one object type device object handle. Da, 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 da. I think it's really funny that at that age, what age is that? 11 or something? If the teacher says write this or that 100 times on the blackboard, that you just do it because you are too scared for what will happen if you don't do it. And then a few years later they say, yeah, do it yourself. Oh boy. Well, what were we talking about here? No, you didn't. You changed your profile pic, but you didn't do that for me. Hey. Okay, set descriptor set comma is greater than 0. Why? What is wrong here? ChatGTP cannot code at all. I should add this to a FAQ, I think. This is like the 10th time that we talk about ChatGTP. Or maybe I should have made a copy of what I wrote to the developers. I'm extremely disappointed. It's not an artificial intelligence. It's not intelligent at all. And it's just producing random text, literally random text with the feedback that it looks like okay-ish. But if you ask it for code, it just gives you some bullshit code. It doesn't work, doesn't verify it, it doesn't compile it. It just, it looks like it could be the right thing. And then it puts text around it where it explains in detail how it works and that it works and that it does exactly what you requested. But it doesn't. It's just full of shit. It has no clue what you mean, and it generates random text that looks like the answer that you wanted to have. But it isn't. I mean, I could stop coding now. We can go to ChatGTP and I'll show you how bad it is. Like really bad. Really, really bad. Okay, I'm going to do that. People should be interested in ChatGTP, so I might as well. Yep, this is my chair here. I was working on my microwave. My microwave was broken. This is OpenAI, right? Chatbot, OpenAI, I don't know. ChatGPT. I think we need to go to a chat, actually. Chat.open. Okay. So I'm going to ask it to write a program, right? So I say write a C++ program that inputs a uint64 type and swaps all bits, well, all even bits with the odd bits, that is bit 0 and 1 must be swapped, and bit 2 and 3 must be swapped, and bit 4 and 5 must be swapped, and so on. Do not write comments in the code, nor give any explanation. And now it's going to time out. Oh, there it is. Maybe I should not have said that it should not write comments or give explanations, but holy fuck, it got it right. Well, this is the first time it got this right. Damn it. Okay, this works. Well, I'm impressed-ish. I asked this question like before, and it came up with ridiculous things. Absolutely ridiculous things. It didn't work at all. And then you said it doesn't work, then it comes up with, nah, well, really. Well, hey, this is kind of impressive, like shit. And it is absolutely not what I did before. Absolutely not. Exactly when I want to show how stupid ChatGPT is, it comes up with the right solution. Maybe they changed it after I gave my feedback. Yeah. Okay. I'll ask it something else. I'll ask it the question that I asked first, you know, which was a lot harder. Now, instead of swapping the bits, treat, I write it correctly, right? Treat. Treat each bit pair as a number between 0 and 3 inclusive, and write a program that adds 1 modulo 4 to each pair. it is totally changed. Before, it always wrote a completely compilable program. So it started with int main, and then did input, like C standard out, please give input, and then it read from standard C in. OM, what is ambiguous? Anyway, I have to check if it's correct. So it splits up again, even on odd bits. And then it says even bits. So that's like -1. Plus even bits. What? Okay, wait a minute. What is happening here? I don't think this is correct. It looks like bullshit. Definitely bullshit. Okay. Explain how this program will convert the input 0b, say 11001001, which represents the pairs 1100, so comma 00, 10,01 into well 00, 01, 11, 10. Okay, adding 1 to each pair modulo 4. And hence output return 0b 1 2 3 4 0. What do you mean 1 1 doesn't exist? I have this pair 0 1, that becomes 1 0. Then we have the pair 1 0, which becomes 1 1. And then I have the pair 1 0 0 1. Then we have the pair 0 0, which becomes 1. That's this one. And then we have 1 1, and that becomes 0. So that's the rest of the zeros. Or now let's convert this to decimal. That's 1 2 4 8 16. So that is 16 plus 2. Okay, 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 8 is 14, plus 16 is 30. Okay, well, my experience before is that, you know, it outputs something like this, which looks like the exact answer. Very impressive, but it is wrong. So I'm not convinced yet that this is true. But I must say it is acting pretty different than before. So kind of shocked. Let's check it. So I ask it to input this, and that is doing it. Adds 2 zeros in front of it. To add 1 to each pair modulo of 4, you can perform the following steps. It takes the even bits, which result in, well, the even bits are 0. Well, that's already wrong. This is nonsense. Agreed? That's what I mean. Just bullshit. It says that this and this is that. That's not true. There's a 0 here, and with a 1 here, there's a 0. So this is a 1, that's not true. It should be a 0. And then we have this one is a 1 and 1, 1. Yeah, so it's missing. It's just totally not the result. This is totally not true. I don't know where to pull that from, but the actual output should be or is for this 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. I guess. So it's something completely different. Next, you isolate the odd bits, which represent so it does it odd. Also not true. It puts a 1 here while there is a 0 there. Furthermore, we have a 1 here, which is an odd bit. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, well, 6 or 7. This is even, yeah? Even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. Okay, this one. This one is missing, and this one comes from nowhere. So this is also wrong. So the text that it generates is correct, you know. It's like yes, yeah, that's what I want. Oh yes. And then the code that it shows is bullshit. Because also this is bullshit. It's just ridiculous. Shifts is 3. I mean, I'm talking about mingling bits. I doubt it. It's just nonsense. It's suddenly, you know, as soon as it starts talking about code, it starts bubbling like a baby. Not making any sense whatsoever. And now if you say this is incorrect, for example, I say this is incorrect. For example, in point 1, you claim that but it is not. Please fix all errors. Now it's going to say, oh yes, you are right. Okay, well, we can fix this as follows. And then, you know, all the English sounds nice, but the code is still bullshit. You see, this is what it always does. Here is the revised version of the function that correctly converts the input, blah, blah, blah. This is what you asked. It is copies what you asked. And then, per definition, claims that the following code is correct. But it isn't. It's still bullshit. It's still the shift 3. It just generates something that is slightly different. And that looks like it could be the answer, but it isn't. Now, I'm gonna quit. Bing. I think that actually the first one that had it right, and that was earlier today. I asked the same question, and then I wrote a comment, as a feedback. But of the 10 times that I asked it to write a C++ program, nonsense came out, with a lot of text around it saying that it was correct and explaining how it would work and blah blah blah, and it looked impressive, but it was nonsense. And then every time you ask it to correct, it says, "Oh, you're right. Yeah, I see now. But of course, we can fix it like this." And then again, nonsense. So yeah, the ChatGPT. Not suitable to write code at all. Yes, I am. Okay, up. I think French accents sound pretty different. Okay, I think that the descriptor sets that we try to bind here is what should be returned by this layout function here. Let's see what pipeline is. No, it's 0. I suppose it's an empty vector or whatever. Crash. DDB just crashed. Oh, no, didn't. Also didn't really print anything useful, is it? It's just a handle. Okay, it's a handle to the layout, so not really useful. But I can highlight a handle and then maybe you can find back where it is. You can see I have new pipeline. I have to see where that was created. Layout. What is this? Creating graphics pipeline with range values. Enter and create graphics pipeline. Layout is that. I want to see where it created the layout. Created pipeline layout with key nothing. Key is empty. That doesn't look good. Anyway, yeah, just created it, so that would be thread pool 3. Create pipeline layout. Nothing is even passed here. Realize pipeline layout, empty. Yeah. Okay, so in this state, PipelineFactory in this state calls realize pipeline layout with an empty vector. And that then results in the rest being empty, 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 empty. So let's have a look at that state. Realize pipeline layout, and the first thing is empty. This is empty. This is where it should be filled. So if we get here, it would be filled, right? I mean, this takes a write lock on it, and then it insert something to it. No, that's set layout. Wait. Okay, it's trying to find if it already exists, but since this thing was empty, it does not exist, so it's equal to end, and that doesn't emplace back here into that thing. And apparently we never get here. So I guess this is never called. I mean, that would explain something. So maybe I should try to write it again to a file and then edit that file and then have a look at it is called. And it is indeed not called. Well, that's not being called. Probably should look for that without. It is being called from here. If it would have been called, it would be called from here. Generate 1. Well, the most likely reason that it's never called is because mbinding is empty. Because I think that generate 1 should be called. That should be called. So if I look at drop again, it's also not called. That's strange, because it's called for preprocess 1. Or not. Different file. I mean, this is being called. Most certainly. Yep. And then we don't call this. So apparently M declaration context is empty or something. I mean, it seems like it, but let's make sure by adding the out always we get here. We get that 2 times twice. Yet we don't get here. Because generate 1 was not cool. Corgigamic, yes, CMake, yeah. I mean, if I run make, it's running this CMake, etc. I just compiled it, so let's run this top again. We get here. So have we get here or not? We get here too. Well, there's only one way how that can happen, is that when this is always false. And which means that the dynamic cast always returns 0. Null pointer, it means that this is never a shader resource declaration context. Okay, am I crazy? I'm crazy. Oh, no, never mind. So this shader resource declaration context is not really a shader resource declaration context. Right. Why not? Well, the things that are added to it, that happens here, is what is returned by the shader variable is used in. I mean, it can of course be that the shader variables itself are not being looked for. So maybe I should print that. But let's keep it simple and just print what it looks for here. Matching match string. Kadum, 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 kadum. Push constant, vertex data. Well, that is a shader something, shader resource. So we have vertex data, and we have vertex data. Well, we have M position and M texture coordinates. And we have instance data. Push constant again. Vertex data, texture coordinates. Yeah. That's kind of strange, isn't it? Why would that never return a shader resource declaration context? Je suis un vloeder. is used in is called on push constant or shader resource variable, and I think, or vertex attribute. We are talking about shader resource variables, so I guess that's this function. Which in the end returns shader resource declaration context. If it is even called, it will do that. So apparently we never get here. Maybe it doesn't find those strings, or what else is going on? VI troop. Yep, that's never called. Oh, that's strange. That is strange. Bloxy, well, I don't know. Depends. Depends on my stamina. I don't think it's particularly a lot lately. 4 hours a day. On a good day, maybe 6. I used to code like 12 hours a day. Really, every day. Am I popular? I'm still hiding the number of viewers. 61. Whoa. Okay, let me make this advertisement again. Oops. That's UTC, so yeah, sorry, you have to calculate it to your own time. Currently it is here, currently it's 2023. Currently 2023 UTC. So that would be the same time as it is now, minus 2 hours and 23 minutes. Minus 2 hours and 23 minutes to current time. I'll do a Christmas stream with Christmas music and hot chocolate, which you have to buy yourself. Chocolate. I'll have hot chocolate and marshmallows, I think. And then, of course, we'll write programs. We'll write C++ programs for everybody to follow from scratch, with all the explanation you want, during which I will try to prove the Collat's conjecture. Be there. So people you have to search this. Yeah, Collat's conjecture. You say, what the fuck is that? Well, that is something to do with multiplication, addition, subtraction, and division. And that's it. Well, whatever. Ignore that lie. That's what it is about. But let's quickly Google it. You know, what is it? Geluidsaanleiding van mijn microwave. College conjecture. College conjecture. College conjecture is one of the most famous unsolved problems in mathematics. Yes, so if I solve it, I will be the first in the world. The conjecture asks whether repeating two simple arithmetic operations will eventually transform every positive integer into 1. So the rules are, if it is an even number, you divide it by 2, and if it is after that still an even number, you divide it by 2 again, and so on until you get an odd number. And if it is an odd number, you multiply it by 3 and then add 1. And then, of course, it's an even number, because you had an odd number times 3 is still an odd number. Odd number plus 1 is an even number. So then you divide it by 2. But after that, it could still be an even number, and then you divide it by 2 again, etc., until you get an odd number again. And then you go on, you multiply it by 3 and add 1, and so on. So here's this example. 33 is odd. Times 3 is 99, plus 1 is 100. 100 divided by 2 is 50, divided by 2 is 25. Then it's odd again. Times 3, 75, plus 1 is 67. 67 can be divided by 2 a few times until you get 19, and so on. You get 29, 11, 17, 13, 5, 1. So how difficult can it be to prove that every integer, all infinite integers, will end up in 1 eventually? Well, nobody has been able to prove it yet. Mathematics may not be ready for such problems. Jeffrey, there's something, I cannot pronounce it, Lagarius, another famous guy, said the college conjecture is an extraordinary difficult problem completely out of reach of present-day mathematics. Yes, so very simple and very difficult to prove. And we're going to have fun with that. I know I didn't buy a magnetron because I repaired it. Repaired my magnetron. I think ChatGPT cannot. No, ChatGPT is stupid. Clueless, mindless, stupid. So remember the date, and I'll see you all. That would be really nice. Unless, of course, you have boring stuff to do with your family. I pity you. No, I'm just kidding. But, especially those people are lonely during Christmas. Let's all come together and have fun. Shall I continue? Because it's still early. I already thought, of course, about the college conjecture while I was laying in bed. I think about it every day before I fall asleep. I don't have enough sleep for some reason. I can say that I have the feeling that my approach is completely different from the approach that anyone else seems to be trying. At least when I look at YouTubes about it, they do silly things like following how it jumps up and down while you do this formula. And I think, well, that's not would never do that. Doesn't seem to make any sense. So I have a plan. I have a plan. I'm going to try my plan, and maybe it will work. I don't have that much hope, but definitely going to be fun. Yes, Nikos, that's the spirit. Who needs Christmas? Yassine, when you can prove the college conjecture instead. I really have to do some more work. I'm gonna stop watching the chat for a bit. There, no chat. Hey! Preprocess. Okay, this was the problem. Preprocess is calling stuff and then not calling. Well, we do get here, but then something is going wrong. We do not get back this type, which is because we are not calling ever this function here, resource variable is used in. So that means that there is no shader resource variable type in shader variables. But here there should be, because I'm seeing strings. We print the strings of the shader variables. Those strings refer to shader resource declaration context stuff, aka shader resources. And shader resources are, in this case, a texture or a uniform buffer. Pretty sure I saw a matching with that. VI matching vertex. Oh, actually, vertex data is not. Vertex data is just vertex data. It's not a texture and also not a uniform buffer. So I have a push constant, vertex data is not it, no vertex data, instance data, same thing, also not. Push constant, vertex data, yeah, we only have vertex data and instance data, and push constants. Indeed, we do not have any shader variable. Yeah, and that's probably because they are not used in the vertex shader. They are used in the fragment shader. We are not even trying frac.glsl. Not even trying. We are not even trying to compile it. Why are we not trying to compile it? Well, probably because I'm just not calling preprocess on that thing. See? I'm calling it on the shader, the vertex shader, but I'm not calling it on the fragment shader. So that's the reason. Should have asserted, I think. Validation error. Is it ever possible that you do not have a fragment shader? I don't think so. The fragment shaders are always used. So yeah, if you do not call preprocess on a fragment shader, but still, I'm not feeling secure enough about it. Okay, here's a fragment shader, but I'm not using this characteristic yet. So I think that what I'm going to do is copy this and move it to the other characteristic. This one is currently commented out by virtue of having separate fragment shader not defined. And therefore I'm going to do like that here. If not separate fragment shader, then also preprocess this fragment shader. Now, what is this about pipeline? Vertex 0. Oh, we have one vertex shader, but we have two fragment shaders. We have a different fragment shader for the pipeline, for each pipeline. Okay. So that is okay then, I suppose, as long as I have m pipeline defined here. I guess I have. I don't know. Let's level core that is defined. Base pipeline. Uniform what? Nope. Okay, so this is probably not going to compile. But we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Furthermore, we're doing something else as well, I think, with this vertex 0. You see, it's used here to compile it. Compile and build shader. Yep. We don't have a separate fragment. Should not have been fragment shader. Separate characteristic, or I'm gonna rename it. Separate fragment shader should be separate fragment shader characteristic. And we need to compile that. Okay, still need to have m pipeline. But for the rest, I guess it works. It should work. Yeah. Something else missing. Yep. PE. No. Now where is it set? Okay. Separate. Tell. No, this again. Tell man. Oh. This is just defined in that bloody file. Well, it is a different validation error. Compiling vertex shader. Compiling on the here to compile the fragment shader. I guess this is it. I guess this is it. How many matchings do I have now? Can't see it also from there, I guess. Yep. Nope. Still only vertex data and push constants. What? Yeah, I guess even more is missing. We have this fragment thing, and it's doing a lot of stuff, and I have to do all that in, let's see, the add push content is already added, I think, in the vertex pipeline characteristic thing here. And then it's doing nothing here, I guess. Oh, all commented out. No, this here. Add combined image sampler. That's what is missing. Do we need to do that in the fragment in the fill state? And then the preprocess I did add. Yes. And the compile also. In the fill, right? Not doing anything in the fill here. Right, now we have a combined image sampler. Twice. Just top. Well, hey, it's something. And I guess we have a compiling for the fragment shader. Hello, compiling. Or not. Is it still not trying to compile my fragment shader? That is so weird. Build is being called twice. From compile here and I don't know what this is. What is this? Compiling the vertex shader, and then while it's compiling, lots of other threads are doing stuff. And then here we get Prepl 3 again. It's done with compiling, created a new module, and then it is calling build shader again. And then it's calling preprocess 2 with vertex shader again. What? Okay, something is really wrong with the build shader. I think I'm just compiling the wrong thing. Yes, of course I'm completely compiling the wrong thing. Frac, hello. Yep, that was the problem. Compiling the vertex shader twice. Oops. Okay. Code. Well, you can code dump all you want. What I'm interested in is here now we have something that looks like yeah, of course, but that was I wanted to see the compiling output. For that, we have to write it to a file. And the edited file. And then look for build shader again, I guess. Now we are compiling the fragment shader. And that's where it finds the combined image sample top. Now it should also find this one, actually, even though it's commented out. But it crashes before it even finishes compiling it. Is it even trying to compile? Compiling. Compiling. We have one compile attempt. And we crash in something that we cannot copy. But we can copy it from here. Should only be called for the vertex stage. Add declarations for stage. Well, it's the vertex attribute declaration context. So yes, it should only be called for the vertex stage. Yeah, being called for the fragment stage. How does that happen? How did that happen? Add declarations for stage. No. Beats me. There is a push constant declaration context. is a shader resource declaration context. And there is a vertex attribute declaration context. And yes, totally agree that we should only get here for the vertex shader. And the fragment shader is using, I think, the push constant and the texture, so shader resource, but not a vertex attribute. So preprocess 2 is called with a shader info that is a fragment shader, while M declaration context still has stuff from the vertex shader, I guess. So maybe a clear is missing. Should have cleared it. Declaration context must be cleared before blah blah blah. I think so. So that's in preprocess 2, which is called from build shader. Right. I'll comment this out. But it should be doing something, I guess. Okay, so I forgot what the problem was. So it's like shader variables. No, this one. Zero declaration context. Yeah. And let's look at the chat again. Yeah, I am tired, so I'm going to stop very quickly. And it seems to be like this for a long time. Has been for a while, a few weeks. But there's nothing to show because it doesn't run. And the reason is that I just made a very big change. So let's call it refactoring. And yeah, that broke everything. So it's going to take a while before I recovered from all these changes that I made. One of the changes, I think, is that the thing that I just copied. So that is not this one, the other one. Did I have it in my... Nope. Then you open Git K and then it wipes your mouse buffer. So I need this one. I want to view all the diffs that change that. I can make a new view, I think, and then enter files or crash. Recommend only show since until search string. Yeah, there it is again. Check this. Let's copy it from the chat. Fix string sounds good. Commit message. I don't think so. And yeah. Also got rid of shader input data. Yeah, that's definitely a big one. Now I'm gonna find that, I guess here. So I top that thing. Who wrote this? Automatic fuck up with your paste buffer. Okay, this is added. Nothing. How can it be added and not deleted somewhere? Check. Stage. It's just not there. Well, maybe it was named differently, I don't know. What about this one? It shows up and it doesn't find it. What the? Doesn't make any sense. Hey, Ed Evans, my buddy, started on the TRS-80. That was a good time, wasn't it? Except when someone kicked out of the plug out of the wall. I still remember what sound the keyboard made. They had really weird keyboards at the time. Like cloink, cloink. Yeah. I think that once I'm 85 or something like that, and I'm started to seriously senile, I would be happy with the TRS-80. Just for good old time's sake. Write little programs on it. Or the die for that matter. I really don't know what the die went. It's so ridiculous. Nobody would have given it away. And Dad doesn't have it, and I don't have it. My brother doesn't have it. Where does the thing go? Zach, you have discovered the goal of life, the purpose of life. Yeah, work has that work. Rather, companies, you know, they force you to all kinds of stupid things. I mean, no appreciation for. I mean, no understanding actually. Come on, you're a C++ coder, and then you go work somewhere, and they say, you must switch language because it's hype. Incredible. Yeah. Well, in the meantime, I have still no clue. Declaration context. I thought that maybe I had a map for one of these things that depended on the stage flag. Whatever was used there. Declaration context. Nope. Okay, forget kit K, that doesn't do anything. Let's do grab project sources for declaration contexts. Yeah, this stage. I thought I had, I stored some stuff before where I used this as the key in the map. And if that is gone, then I would like to find that again. Looks pretty much gone, totally gone. So how can I find that back in an old div? You would say get k, should be able to find it, right? Apparently not. Get blame, well, you would say do this, but no, but that code is copied from a different file. This whole file is new. So that's not going to work. No. I think I'm just going to, you know, do a binary search with get check out. Let's go down, down, down. Move the class around a bit. I mean, I even push this to master, so that should be old enough to still have it, I think. Might even still work. Let's try that, huh? Yes. So you get check out that thing here. Lots of blah, make, what? Configure then. If I push it to GitHub, it should compile, shouldn't it? Twitch, how much time do you spend to learn all this? Or do you mean did you spend? Whatever it takes. If I want to learn too much, then while learning that, I just learn a subset of it. Nah, 3 weeks to learn C++ is way too short. Took me 3 months just to learn the syntax. And that was way before C++ became complex. Well, when C++ was still simple, there wasn't even a standard. No C++ 11. They added so much, and I think it's going to take half a year before you even sniffed all the syntax that exists. Took me 3 weeks to learn C. And then, you know, not a half an hour a day, right? really, really serious. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, it works. So that was old. And now the question is then how did I do that back then in that function? Now I have to purely work on memory. How do I find that back? What am I doing? Was it not in I think it was in preprocess actually. Preprocess 1. We just defined here. Yep, see, I was right. We have declaration context per stage. So I was looking for m underscore declaration context in git k. That's why that's why I did not find it. But it used to be stored per stage, so it didn't get mingled. Declaration context. And then we run over and I see we run over the shadow variables and I insert in declaration context. Okay, I insert in something that is per stage. And then we call generate one on that. Oops, we are in brain. Believe it or not. The brain as in open brain surgery. Okay, so now I am looking for again preprocess one, but this time we'll find it in here. And now you see, I hope, that you have shader variables no longer per stage. And then we do first a match and then that. Yep. Okay. Okay. But it should have been per stage. Now Vulkan is also for computation. Everything of the GPU. Everything your GPU can do, Vulkan is to control it at a low level-ish. But okay, I see the question. Can you create a game with this thing? Yeah. Okay, and then it's just the graphics of the game. Right. It's more like, your GPU, your video card, that has to do all the work because the 3D games are so incredibly intensive in with respect to making calculations in order to draw what you see on the screen, that your CPU cannot do that. So your GPU, the graphics processor, is doing it, and then Vulkan is just providing the API between your CPU and the GPU. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing. Vulkan is so bare metal that it is scary. You have to be a professional graphics card designer that works for NVIDIA, for example, to understand it. And no, I don't work for NVIDIA, so I don't understand Vulkan, I guess. But hey, I'm trying. Okay, what I want to do is make declaration context here per stage. And we have a few loops that are using it, so let's do that outside those loops. Do it just once. Do it just in here. Why not? The type of that thing is, sorry, declaration context was it? The type is at shader stage. Seriously? I don't think so. Or maybe. No. Actually, yes. But it can no longer be private. Well, the type cannot be private. And they should be moved to the base class, sorry, to a derived class. Okay, what I'm going to do with it, I'm going to read it seems. That all. Is that all we do, reading it? No, of course not. Here we're writing to it, yeah. So we are going to make a non-const reference. I'm going to call it declaration contexts. And then we're going to use that instead of this. Preprocess 2 should also do that, I suppose. So, delete it here as well. But in this case, we only read. So I'll add it here as well, I guess. But in this case, it can be a const reference. And then we have to, assign it. And I think I am going to assign it by calling declaration context the function. Is that even possible? I don't think so. Yeah, no. You cannot. I think they cannot have the same function name as what you're declaring. So let's give this a different name. Let's just call it again per stage. Okay, I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. So many possibilities, and I only have 2. Only have supported 2. Oh no. Yeah, it's probably not the best thing then to use. On the other hand, well, I mean, yeah, no, I don't want to add this many virtual functions. There must be a better way. Yeah, my plan, I mean, I have an add vertex stage clause and I have an add fragment stage clause. So it seems logical to put those vectors inside these clauses, and then they can be, then they're on their own. But using multiple inheritance. And this is a vertical based clause. Oops. This is a virtual based clause, so there is no way to call a virtual function and get to the right thing. No, it's more like how many derived clauses do we have? And now we need one that matches this stage. So depending on the value of stage, I want to access a certain derived clause. Well, that sounds like a lot of virtual functions. So, yeah, it would be nice, but I think it's stupid. I guess I'll just put it in the base class here as a map, like I had before. Was that to me add events? Is a strategy pattern what I'm looking for? I have the feeling that you're just a map. Shoot a map just like before. That is not saying anything. I think it's a different. First of all, I'm not having a strategy or code. I'm having a vector, and I have not one. Really? Well, maybe okay. Okay, the point is, of course, how do they switch between the different things? Yeah. Bit trouble reading it. It looks like, say, they assign, let's say, a class to a class pointer, as it were. Where then strategy now points to a class with a virtual function that implements the strategy. So then you can use it like that. But it's not what I have. So I don't think I can use this idea. Besides, it's just a name, you know. I'm not very familiar with all the names. I just invented everything myself. And then I'll use whatever I invented. I do have design patterns, the book. I never read it. All right. Well, what I have here is I have a virtual base class at shader stage, which might or might not have one or more derived classes that all have a virtual pointer, this, to their virtual base class. Yes. And then depending on the stage that we are, that's just an integer here, I want to use a vector from one of these derived classes. Now the most direct way would be, say, a switch on the stage, and then call a virtual function, and that is has a different name for each of the possible classes. But then I might end up with having to add a shitload of virtual functions, making I don't know, the class is very big. Or no, that's nonsense. They just have a pointer to the virtual table, so the virtual table can be as large as you want. but it just doesn't feel like the normal way that one would use a virtual table. So maybe I should take out the vector out of the derived classes and just have them in the base class. A vector of vectors or a map of vectors, and then I can just use the states as the key in the map. It would be slightly slower, but yeah, alternative is I would have a vector of vectors, then it's as fast as the virtual table. And the space of the outer vector is, the allocated space of the outer vector is just taking up the memory that otherwise the virtual table would take up. So it all comes down to the same thing, I think. But decisions. And I'm still looking for a smart thing, something super smart. How to select a derived class based on an integer. I'm almost inclined to ask ChatGPT. Yeah, oh, maybe. It would be an English answer, so maybe it would actually make sense in that case. But I doubt it. All static answers, not dynamic. Might as well do this one, I guess. Initialize different derived classes in switch statement. That's about initialization. Choose derived classes runtime and run unique class method. I like that one. Is it possible to choose a derived class at runtime and then execute a method which has different argument number types? Example, you have base class fruit, apple derived from fruit, orange derived from fruit. That's not even multiple inheritance, so no, that's not what we want. let's add multiple inheritance. Still talking about selection. Base also. Yeah. I don't see anything related to what I want. Someone, I want to know what this is. Can someone got help there? Yeah, Professor, we just discussed ChatGPT. And I have done that before, multiple times, too, in my stream. It doesn't find an answer. It does say something in 10 seconds. And it sounds like the answer. But it seldom is. Maybe if it literally exists on the internet, then it can reproduce what it saw on the internet, but nothing more than that. I'm just going to use a map, I think. That's what I did before as well. Right, so now this have whatever this is in a map, and then we use the stage as the key. And I have to do that down here as well. And then everyone is happy. Down here being nobody knows. Oh, up here. But then without the const. That should work. That should work. And then I switch here. And I'm changing this into a per stage. And then we have a map. Of this thing, and that of course takes a whatever the stage is returning as a key, and that was nobody knows what it is, what stage was returning. So I'm just looking at it. I think this, no, not that. What was it? Did I skip it? I think I already skipped it. Pipeline stage flags. No. Stage. Maybe this one. I guess so, because at least it has that. See the stage flag bits? Sounds like a curse word. You shader stage flag bits. No, maybe not. Okay, I think that should do it. That should do it. Let's try it. Egg, make, and then I'm going to take a break and sleep and do actually fun stuff. It did not compile. No, just file a directory. Yep, that's not possible. You cannot use that on a const map. That is so stupid. I think that's pretty stupid. I don't know about you, but I think it's stupid. Okay, the FAQ questions are flying around again. A more robust IDE. I wonder what that is. I think I'm doing just fine with this one. What shall we do? We'll do something. Oh well, just make it an iterator. Do we have a special find for a map? I don't even know. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I don't know why I don't know, but I'll just admit it. That's who I am. Standard map. Does have a find. Yeah. Okay. Just checking. Just checking. Find and then the key. And then well, making a copy of the iterator is totally fine. Auto is never a reference. It's also always makes a copy. And then we do and assert. It cannot be end. It should have been added. I hope. Yes, 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 yes. Collection contexts. Ding, ding, ding. So that should work, I think. And then here we can, or here, what do you mean here? Let me search for that. Oh, here, no, up there. This is non-const, so here I can do it. And then I might add a default constructed declaration context container, which happens to be a standard set, which is then an empty set, but that's okay because we're going to fill it. Now we do inserts here. Yeah. No matching function for call to begin. Standard pair. Yeah, I guess. Codump. This is the codump. And now we're codumping in register add fragment shader with, which is not implemented. But I'm going to stop for today. And I'll continue tomorrow, as usual. Yeah. I won't make an advertisement again for next Sunday, because I already did that 2 hours ago. Or shall I do it? Nah. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. So next Sunday is the first day of Christmas at 6 p.m. UTC. I'll do a Christmas stream. And you're all supposed to be here, because then we're going to do some fun stuff. From scratch, with all the explanations that you will want and need. Unlike this, you have no idea what I'm doing stuff. Definitely different.